Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada, and you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. I think I have everything right tonight. I hope so. I think I've got my volume turned up. I'm just checking. I'm live. That's okay. That's good. I'm live on my Facebook group, so I think I've got things figured out. She says confidently. So tonight's technique night. Every Wednesday I jump on and share a technique with you. And tonight I'm going to bring back an oldie but a goodie, the baby wipe technique. It's been a while since I've done this, but I thought that it was kind of perfect for the Carrying Leaves stamp set. I absolutely love this stamp set. And if you've missed this one, I've used it a couple of times. It's a very simple stamp set, just a couple of two-step stamps. Hey Nancy, and then some sentiments, and it's in the September to December mini catalog. Hey Roberta, perfect. I can see some people. Hoping that people are jumping on YouTube as well. And so it's in the catalog. It's towards the back of the catalog, and if you're focusing on holiday stamp sets and bundles and other things, then you might have missed this one, and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to switch over and I will get started. Okay, so like I said, if you haven't seen this one, let me just take this out. I get such a glare from my lights. And I try to remember to take at least so you don't get the glare off the case. So it's pretty simple. Two different leaves with the inside. It is a distinctive stamp, so you get this kind of dotted effect to it. It's very detailed. Two different leaves with the outside, and then two very simple sentiments. And it's just such a pretty stamp set. So if you have never played with the baby wipe technique, this is, like I said, it's an oldie but a goodie, and such an easy way to get some lovely colors. Now let me just show you. I was kind of playing a little bit earlier with, let's see, come on, there we go. Let me see if I can get that. Oh, it doesn't seem to want to go close, but there we go. I've got those up. So I use, this is very vanilla cardstock, and I used Cajun Craze, crushed curry, and old olive on these. So that's what I used on re-inkers on the baby wipes. And so that's the kind of effect you get when you use this. Hey Pam, welcome. Hey Holly. So really pretty. I'm going to stamp the outline on this, but I thought I would just get these cut out for the front of the card. So here's what you need. I'm just using regular old baby wipes. The only thing I have found, and I was going to look at these, it's worked just fine. I'm not sure I actually could find one of the, oh yeah, okay, so this does not contain alcohol. That was one of the recommendations when I was looking this up, was to not use baby wipes that have alcohol in them, because of course our re-inkers are water-based and you don't want to use the alcohol. So just take a wet baby wipe, fold it in half. You can put it into like a stamp case if you want to. I've just got it on a silicone mat. And all I'm going to do, now what color order am I going to do this in? I am going, okay, so I've got Cajun Craze. So I'm just going to do this in a bit of a line. So just you can add, I don't need that many because I'm just going to do some random stamping. So I've just kind of got a line of Cajun Craze, oh, and an extra bob. And then I'm going to do a line of crushed curry. Now, you could do this randomly and just kind of, you know, all over dots, or you could do it like I'm doing it in kind of a stripe effect. And then this is old olive. Now I've tried this before once, and I think I used multiple baby wipes, and I think the trick is not to just use one baby wipe and then just fold it over. I'm not sure why it didn't work before, but I'm just gonna, oh, it's not, that's not what I want. I want to do it on this. So I've got a piece, I'm gonna make a kind of off-centered gatefold card. So I've got a piece of and I've got re-inker all over my fingers. Let's try and get that off before I get too much. Hey Cynthia, welcome. Good. I'm glad I've got comments coming in from all 3 places where I'm live, and that makes me happy because it's only taken me about a week to kind of get this organized. Okay, so I've got a piece of very vanilla, and so this is the gatefold card. It's 2.5 by 5 1/4, and we'll put it together in a bit. So I'm just going to I'm going to kind of create my own designer series paper, and I'm going to use this. So I'm going to kind of stamp, just pick up some ink like that, and so you can see that I've got some of the cherry cobbler and some of the garden green, and I've just got a baby wipe here that I'm just going to clean my stamp off of as I go. So I'm just going to kind of move my stamp around, and that one I got more of the cherry cobbler, or not, what am I talking, cherry cobbler, crushed curry and old olive. And then let's do another one of this. And then let's see if I can go up here and get all 3. You can always go over it a little bit if you wanted to. So I've got all 3 colors on that one. All right, and then I'm going to take this other leaf and I'm going to do the same. So this one I'm going to get mostly old olive and some yellow. And then we'll do one. What are we getting? So creating my own designer series paper here. There's no secret to this. It's just kind of the really cool effect that you get. And I don't think I've got really any more room for that. So just a really cool effect that you get when you use the different colors. And if you wanted to, you could, like I said, instead of the stripe effect, you could just randomly put your ink on. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. I'm going to leave this over here, and it might still be wet because I could maybe make some more when I'm partly done here. Okay, I'm going to pull out. Now there is no die for this, so these leaves that I did earlier I fussy cut. So before I get too far down the road, I'm going to do the outline stamping. And so there is this one I'm going to stamp in Cajun Craze, and then I can put my stamps away. Oh, I only got one of those on there. Well, that wasn't so clever. Oh well, you know, it is what it is. I just love this look. This kind of a part outline. Oh, I did get 2 of them on there. Oh, good. Blind. Just kind of really makes these leaves pop. And let's go back to this one. Isn't that pretty? Okay. So let's do the same. I only did these. This one, I don't know what kind of leaf this is. Somebody can tell me who's way more of a gardener than I am. Maybe it's an oak leaf. I don't know that. I'm guessing. I'm probably really wrong. There we go. We've got the outside of my leaves. Okay. And while I'm stamping, I'm going to stamp the sentiment that says, "You're simply the best." Okay, so we've got my stamping done. I can put that away, and now we can start to assemble our card. Put these away. Okay, so like I said, I'm calling this an off-center gatefold card. Yeah, this is a fun technique, and this is a really old technique. I haven't done this, and I think I tried it maybe a few years ago, but it's one of the first techniques I learned. So I have a piece of Cajun Craze that is 5.5 by 8.5, and then I scored it along the long side at 2 3/4 and then 7. And then we're going to fold both of these in towards the middle and give them a good burnish, because this is a gatefold card, and if you don't give it a good burnish, it doesn't stay closed very well. So we're just really going to press down and give it a good burnish. So when it opens up, it will open up. So it's the standard card size when it opens up. but just make sure you score it at 2 3/4 and 7. Okay, so then I cut a piece of crushed curry. Now I haven't pulled crushed curry out of my cupboard for a while. So this is 2 5/8 by 5 3/8. So just going to have a peekaboo of this behind my piece of Very Vanilla that I stamped on. So this is 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. So that's going to go on like that. And like I said, have just a peekaboo of color behind it. Oopsie. Getting glue down the side, which will splodge out, so we'll just put that on. Like I said, this is just to that 1/16 of an inch all around, so just a little peekaboo of the crushed curry. And then this can go on the card front. Like that. It's starting to feel fall-like. It was a beautiful day here yesterday. Last night I came out of a meeting at about, I don't know, 8:30 or so, almost 8:30, and it was still 20 degrees, which is just amazing. And then this morning we woke up to rain and drizzle. Actually, it was pouring with rain earlier today. So I think I'm going to use this stripe. This is the Cajun Craze. It's part of the Regal's Designer Series paper 6x6 that they Stampin' Up! Has brought out in all of the color families. So it looks like I've got a little bit more of a peak than a peekaboo on this one. Okay, let's just push it over there, and then I'm going to try and trim it a little bit. Okay, so my Designer Series paper, if you're making notes with this, is not, where's my ruler's gone? That's because it's over on my desk. So my Designer Series paper is 1 and, it's supposed to be 1 1/4. It's actually 1 and, gosh, I really didn't cut that very well. So I'll tell you what it's supposed to be. So this is 1 1/2. And so the crushed curry should be 1 3/8, and then the Designer Series paper should be 1 1/4. And then lengthwise, the crushed curry should be 5 3/8, and then the Designer Series paper 5 1/4. But I clearly cut that a little bit because it's not quite right. I love the little peekaboos. Sometimes you don't want a lot of extra color around, but this just seemed to be just a peekaboo of the crushed curry. Seemed right to me. All right, I cut an extra piece of the Designer Series paper, 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4 for the inside of the card. So that's this piece of Very Vanilla is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So we'll just put that lengthways. If you wanted to, I could actually stamp one of those leaves. Maybe I will stamp since my ink is still wet here. Let's try and stamp one of these like that, just on the inside. Yeah, it's definitely drying out, so it's a little paler than it was, but that's okay. There. Just kind of pretty to have that on the inside. Hey Deborah, welcome. Welcome from Australia. All right, so there's my offset gatefold card to start with. So what I'm going to do is to try and keep this from opening up too much. I'm going to put, this is a 2 3/8 inch circle that I punched out of Cajun Craze, and I'm going to put my leaves that I stamped earlier on it using dimensionals. And you could even put some Wink of Stella. I might pull that out and add a little bit of Wink of Stella. So yeah, I was saying it's definitely that it's starting to feel fall-like. Our leaves aren't completely changing, but they're getting there. I was talking to my sister who lives in Alberta, and she was saying their leaves are definitely starting to change. So I'm going to put just dimensionals down one side of this circle, and I'm going to attach it so it's just on this narrow part of the gatefold, and that will help maybe to keep it closed, or maybe not. Hopefully these leaves will add some weight to it. And so we'll just kind of take and put them on. Oh, I grabbed, where did my ribbon? Here's some twine. I had to get a new thing of linen thread. So linen thread is not orderable at the moment, but if you're like me, you always have an extra roll. It is coming back into stock, hopefully in not too long. So I just wrapped that around the palm of my hand a few times. I'm going to pinch it together in the middle, and then I'm just going to take my, I'm going to see if I can pull this off. There. I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal and just kind of put it across like that. And then once I get my things back on, like that leaf, I can fuss with it a little bit. So you can push it to where you want it to go, and then put the leaves on. And then the last, because this is brand new linen thread, it really wants to misbehave here. So let's try and, I'm just going to take and tuck that under like that. And then we're going to take and cut. So you could punch your sentiment out. Thanks, Pam. Yeah, definitely. It's hard to believe it's fall already. I don't know where the summer goes. You just feel like it's summertime, and then all of a sudden you blink and it's fall. I think what inspired me with this card was, I don't know if you've played with the absolutely gorgeous Autumn Abundance paper pumpkin. Oh my gosh, if you saw my live yesterday, I was playing with it, and it is absolutely stunning. And so I think that's what inspired me to pull out fall colors. Okay, so then we're just going to take and put that right like that. So my card's popping up a little bit, so if that happens to you, just take your bone folder and just really give it a good burnish, and that helps. I take the point and just really focus it on that edge on the fold or the score line, and now you can see it's wanting to stay down more than it was. Okay, now the last thing we'd need for the card, of course, some embellishments. And so these are the adhesive back metallic gems. They come in silver, gold, and copper. And so copper seems to be the thing that goes with my fall colors best, at least for me. I love copper. So I'm just going to put some of these. Oh, I wonder if I put that on there, will it hold it down? No, it won't. Okay, let's try and take it off. I don't really want it there. I was just hoping it would hold it down a little bit more. Okay, there we go. So there is my fall card using this Caring Leaves stamp set. It's a really good price point. If you haven't looked at it, I'm just trying to find it in the catalog. It's towards the back. There it is, page 59. It's kind of nondescript in the catalog. You may not even have noticed it. Hey, Sarah, welcome. Hey, Nancy. Hello from Texas. And so in Canada, that's $24. So there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stamps, but $24 is an amazing price point because it's such a versatile stamp. And so if you haven't looked at that, that's one to think about, because I think you're going to use it over and over and over again. I just absolutely love it. Okay, so there we go. There's my fall color using the baby wipe technique. And so if you haven't played with that like I hadn't, in a long time. Pull out your baby wipes, and like I said, as long as they aren't, they don't contain. Hey Kathleen, I'm seeing all sorts of names. And sorry, I'm just seeing names. I missed them as I was stamping along. So thank you so much for joining me. Let's go back here tonight. It's lovely to see so many people. And like I said, now I think I have finally figured out the new technology so that I can go live in 3 places at once with sound, because the other day I tried it twice without sound. Okay, so that was the baby wipe technique. So pull out your baby wipes, just make sure they don't have alcohol in them, and try them. And there's all sorts of things you can do with this to create some color for your cards. If you don't want to use your Stampin' Blends or your watercolor pencils, or your markers, this is a great way. Even though this is 2-step stamping and it would have been really easy just to stamp it, it's lovely to have some pretty colors, different colors on it, and mix them up a little bit. All right, so it's Wednesday night tonight. I will be back on Saturday at 11 a.m. with another project for you. So hopefully you can join me then. Thanks, Carol. Welcome. Yeah, you got to have a look at this card. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget, if you're coming in through YouTube and you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can do so. Just hit that subscribe button and then you'll get notified when I go live. I do try and post when I'm going live in my Facebook group and page. And so hopefully you can, stay in touch for when I'm going live.